Welcome, everybody. Episode number 18 of 1 Degree of Scandalous with Kato Kalin and Tom Zenner.
Does it get any better than this? Oh, my God, Tom. A new studios. Look at this. We have a desk. These are not IKEA. This is great. I was at IKEA the other day. I had to take a pee. I was in Burbank.
Yeah.
Got the largest IKEA. I had to take a pee in the worst. Did you know you have to actually make the urinal? I'm kidding.
And that takes 4 hours. By the way, what the hell did you set yourself up for? What did you buy at IKEA? Because, you know, you can dedicate the next 2 weeks on trying to put it together and then replacing it and fixing it and taking it apart and doing it all over again.
I was there for the $1 Swedish meatballs.
Oh,
sorry.
okay, there you go.
No shopping.
Those are worth waiting for,
Just
right?
lunch. It was a dinner date.
Hey, married life, that's what it comes down to.
She's so pissed about that.
She'll get over it. Hey, this is a new look for us. I'm excited.
Yeah.
We're in a new studio, and, man, I think we're the best podcast studio in all of L.A., without a doubt.
It is star-studded studio. It is every TV. It is every actor that you've seen on TV.
Yeah.
It's from Entourage. It's from, well, Unhappily Ever After, of course.
Well, we're at Action Park Media, which is in West Hollywood, and this is the home of Kevin Connolly. This is his business. This is his podcast studio, and of course, Victory the podcast is done here. Doug Ellen's Ramble On is done here. They do about almost 10 or a dozen podcasts here.
Wait, his brother's Rob Ellen.
And his brother's Rob Ellen of Podcast One. We're all being one big family. I mean, that's how it all happens. Kato and I were at a birthday party last Saturday night.
Kato Ellen.
Yeah.
I changed my name.
Kato Ellen. So we were at this great birthday party, and we ran into Rob, and I go, Rob, you know, I want us to start doing our shows over at Action Park with Kevin. Can you set this up? So kudos to everybody. Thanks so much to Kevin. And if you know, the funny thing is, Kato, is you and Kevin go way back on a sitcom. So if he rolls in here, Kevin Connolly,
I hope so.
Eric Murphy from Entourage, we're gonna have that reunion for you two.
I hope I have lines.
They were on Unhappily Ever After. If you remember that show.
Some lines in the show. Unhappily Ever After. I'll tell you about Unhappily Ever After. One of the writers, his name is Kevin Curran, the late Kevin Curran, the late great Kevin Curran, who was my roommate. He was a roommate of mine. And when Kevin was, he was friends with Ron Levitt. Ron Levitt also did Married with Children, Unhappily Ever After. So when I was living at the Simpsons, I ended up becoming dear friends with Kevin Curran, who was the head writers for The Simpsons. So I went from one Simpson to another Simpson. You know, I only hang out with people with Simpsons. Jessica, you listening?
Yeah, right.
Jessica, hey.
Okay, but
Bart Simpson,
what are the odds?
Listening?
That is crazy when you think about it.
Yeah.
Do you remember, was Kevin in the same scenes that you did at Unhappily Ever After?
Yeah, well, I did 3 Unhappily's, but Kevin and I did one where it was, I can't remember all the characters in the, Nikki Cox. Nikki Cox.
From Las Vegas. I remember that show.
Yeah, Vegas, and she was dating
She was married to Jay Moore?
Mm-hmm. Still is, I think. But,
okay.
So I actually did an event at the Kentucky Derby where she was on fire, a young girl and smoking hot, and she was single, but I remember just hanging out because I was a guest at the Kentucky Derby. I did 4 of those. But I was a game show host, and I've been my whole life. I aspired to be a game show host. I always wanted to be a game show host. So Kevin Curran, writer and producer of the show, said, "You're going to play Happy Bender." That was my name, Happy Bender, on the show.
Was it a game show host?
Game show host
on
the
the show.
You had
to love it, right?
And
good practice.
Kevin Donnelly was was answering all the questions correctly. I forget the ending. I think he gets shot. No, I have no idea.
He's on a big business call right now, but if he has time, he's going to pop in so we can talk about
Hey,
it.
quit name dropping, please.
But you know what?
It's our show.
And Dave, thank you. He's behind the glass over there producing this show for us, and I'm happy that we're here. I'm super excited. We're going to take it to the next level, just being able to come here, the energy and just everything that's going on. By the way, Kato, you and I were talking about this. This building
behind the glass. I almost thought you said behind your ass. So I'm sure, David, I'm only kidding. He's okay. It's behind the glass.
Yes, David, if I confused you there, man, I apologize.
He's behind the glass right there. Yeah. Okay, not behind the ass. I don't know. You know, we're
so
West Hollywood.
this is where Maverick Music Studios used to be.
Oh, that's
so this is where
label.
Madonna recorded Vogue. So a lot of history in here. A lot of history. It's fun to be here.
Can I do a Madonna story? Okay, I will. Madonna story. Back in the 90s, I remember I went to the Grauman's Chinese Theater, and Madonna was at a movie, and this is how long ago it was. The film was The Golden Child, Eddie Murphy, and I'm sitting directly behind Madonna with Rosie O'Donnell, and they were kind of wearing baseball caps, and so it was kind of like, oh, that's Madonna.
Okay, remember they used to be the best of friends. They were hanging out all the time. League of their own.
That's how long ago it was.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so we got Scandal. Right? Most of it is in the sports world right now. This is crazy. We're going to talk about the biggest one that's happening on the day we're taping. Now, Interestingly, when we tape a few days before the show airs, who knows? All the details might come out in a few days. Right now, we don't know. All we know is there is a huge scandal involving the Boston Celtics head coach, and he's suspended. He's suspended for a whole year. I've covered sports for 25 years. I worked in the NBA. I've been around the Bulls, the Lakers, all the Celtics, all these teams, for the Suns for many, many years. This is big.
Yeah.
I mean, and plus, it's so nebulous. You really don't know what's going on.
Is that the guy? His name's Sudoku? Because I've been playing that in the airplanes. What's his name? Sudoku or no?
Ime Udoka
Oh
is
my
the name
God,
of the
I've been
head
playing
coach of
the
the
wrong
Boston
game.
Celtics. But okay, so I used to work at Fox 25 in Boston. My very good friend Butch Stearns, who is still the lead sports anchor, the guy in Boston, the number one face for sports in Boston. Butch, are you there? This is our first time in the new studio here, Kevin Connolly studio, Atcham Park Media, and they put me in charge of some of these technical duties over here. Do we have you? Are you there, Butch?
Hi, Tom. Butch here. I'm here, and I'm loving it. Oh, that's me, Cato. Sorry. Where's Butch? I'll tell you what. If you have the name Butch Stearns, you've got to be in sports. What a great name.
It's a good name.
Unmute. I'm unmuted now. Can you hear me?
Amateur hour. Butch,
Hey,
you've
Butch.
been in television 30 years. I'm glad we can introduce you to the mute button.
Butch, we'd like
Tom,
you better
I'm
muted.
in front of the camera. First of all, hello, Cato. How are you, my friend?
Butch, my friend, great to meet you in person. You look terrific. Oh, wait.
Hey,
It's a
Butch,
live
Butch,
action
I can't believe it's that light out still in Boston. Before we get going, how are we on
Hold on.
audio? Are we okay?
Hold on. My very first question is this. Anybody that's been around Tom, how the hell, Cato, did you get sucked into the Tom Zenner vortex?
You know what? It's a good vortex to be sucked in. I'm telling you, Tom has got that. Well, you know, Tom's energy it's contagious, and it's all positive energy. I always tell people, I think that one of the greatest things I did is meet Tom Zenner, because he motivates me every day. We're doing incredible things with our podcast. It keeps getting better and better. And I'll tell you, Butch, it's a great thing. And you know that. You probably miss him. You guys email every day.
I do. Well, we stay in touch after all these years, and I got to be honest with you. My oldest daughter is 26. She lives in San Clemente, and we're coming out. And for years, my three daughters said to me, Tom, after Lillian, my oldest daughter, met Tom, she goes, Tom Zenner's a real guy? She goes, I always thought you just made that name up, that it was some mythic figure. She said, he's real.
That's
Tom
funny.
Zenner is real. And I said, well, I don't know how real he is, but he's real.
See, Butch, I could have been in your life a lot longer if you and the rest of the city of Boston hadn't run me out of town. But I did kind of
You had no
it.
interest. You ran yourself out of town. You had no interest in staying in this
true
town.
enough.
Butch, she picked a great place to be, at San Clemente. Wow, you must love coming out here from Boston to visit San Clemente.
Yeah.
Say that again. I'm sorry, Cato.
I'm saying that you picked a great place for your daughter to live, as San Clemente. It's got to be you coming from Boston.
She wanted to go there first year of school, and I said no. She stayed local for college. I said make Dean's List. She did. She went out there. She went to Cal State Fullerton. She went. She's been living there since. She's a headhunter now. She has a really good job. And she's a Boston girl, but she loves it in California.
Well, guess what?
She just loves it.
I'm a Titan myself. Cal State Fullerton, from Wisconsin to Titanville. I was.
No kidding.
I tried to play pro
Yeah.
baseball. I was there when Augie Garrido was there. I'm aging myself, but for God's sakes, Butch Stearns is my best friend now. Butch, what's going on in Boston?
Hey, Butch, where are you? Martha's Vineyard or something, man? Cape Cod? It looks beautiful. It looks like one of those perfect September days on the East Coast in Boston.
No, I'm not in Cape Cod. I'm right down the street from Fox 25 at a legendary local haunt. Can you see me? Do you have my video?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah.
So look, this is the Hillside Pub. It's owned by Mike Gargan, straight off the boat from Ireland, from Dublin. And Mike, you walk in, and Mike, it's cheers. Everybody wants to know your name.
Love it.
And so we're here on a Friday night hanging out with my brother-in-law.
Nice.
And
getting pulled into our Zoom call. Hey, by the way, one of about 6 institutions in Boston where Butch doesn't have to pay.
Yeah.
Butch
has got that town wired. If you need a tour of Boston, call Butch
That's
Stearns.
true.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Hey, so let's get to Ime Udoka, and I'll give you my condensed version of it. First of all, I'll just sum the whole thing up. Ime, keep it in your pants. I mean, seriously.
What? Hey, Butch.
Here's a guy who, and we've covered sports forever, and Cato, you've been in entertainment, and you know this. Everybody waits to get their opportunity. He got it. Not only capitalized on it, the only thing he didn't do was win the championship, because they played against a generational player in Steph Curry, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they have a potential generational player in Jason Tatum. So he's got all this stuff going for him. And look, I'm not throwing stones from my glass house, but keep it in your pants.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
Well, you would think it would be that simple. Now, he's got the fiance, the actress Nia Long, out here in L.A., even though she has moved out to Boston. We'll hit that part later.
Yeah.
But, Butch, you were at the press conference this morning. I'm going to myself, holy crap. They're talking about a year suspension. I knew as soon as they were talking about a year, this thing is deep, it's layered, it's nasty.
Yeah.
We have only begun to see the details. And again, when you listen to this, you might know it. But right now, we don't. What was it like at the press conference? Because the owners seem pissed. They seem pissed off today. The team owners of the Celtics.
They're disappointed. Tom, they're disappointed. But here's what I'll tell you we do know, and what I know from talking to some people after the press conference today, okay? So, A, they actually want to keep him. No. They do. They suspended him because my first question to somebody that I know with the Celtics was, why didn't they just fire him? He said, figure it out. Because you just fire somebody like that. Right. Well, they didn't fire him because they actually want to keep him. Wick Grossbeck, the owner, actually answered this question to him when somebody said, is he getting paid? I didn't think he would touch that question. And what he said was, I don't have the exact words in front of me, but something about he's taken a significant loss or pay cut, but with a net result. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? What it meant was, in my opinion, that they got together behind the scenes and he said, look, we're going to suspend you. We're going to suspend you, but we're not going to fire you because you won't get another job. So you have to play ball with us and you have to do this. And he did that. So they're paying him. They want to keep him at the end of the year, but they suspended him for a year, which is really unusual, such a long time and such unprecedented. You said it off the top, Tom. We're taping this now. And while I'm talking, this details could have come out. He did not get this discipline because he had an in-office affair and because he's a boss or in a position of power and somebody was a subordinate. By the way, supposedly, and I hate always saying this stuff because this was on Twitter and who knows, but it was a trainer's wife. But the point is, he's in a position of power. This happens in law firms, it happens in politics and everything else. So the Celtics are probably being threatened of being sued by this woman, but you do not get suspended for a year when you're the up-and-coming coach in the NBA when you just had an affair. Something happened.
Sure.
Shams Charania's report last night was, and I think he did even a solid by using this word. He said that she claims that there was unwanted treatment or behavior. Again, I forget the exact language to her. That I bet you Shams wanted to put the word harassment in there, and his lawyers talked them out of it. So that's what's going on there.
Yeah.
It's and from a Boston sports fan's perspective, they're like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. They're favored in every single sports book in the country to win the NBA championship.
Hey, Robert Sarver's thanking the Celtics right now. But hey, Cato, let me introduce you to a phrase I've probably said to Butch about 500 times. Butch, let me tell you why you're wrong. Okay? Now, hear me out on this one. He's never going to coach for the Celtics again. That is over and done with. They're keeping him around because they want to test out the 34-year-old who's taking his place right now. If he does great, there's no way they replace him and bring him back. I think he's done.
I think
I don't necessarily. I don't know.
Details come out.
I was going to say the more and more details that come out, which they will, then they're going to have to toss him. If more comes out, it's harassment or the sexual advancement, a married person, we don't know. But if that all comes out, forget it. He's got to be done.
Tom, I agree with both you guys because the court of public opinion, especially in this day and age and in this climate, if there's sexism, racism, harassment, anything involved here, he's done. He might be done coaching in the NBA. So that's why I say they did him a solid. But I was told by somebody within the Celtics that they would like to have him back. The players loved him. It worked. I mean, let's think about it. They were 18-21 on Christmas Day. Then they turned into the best team in the NBA for the second half. They bought in. That doesn't happen all the time in sports. Right. Tom, you know
especially
that.
A rookie coach, right? Exactly. Well, look.
At least when he got his opportunity, that's why I say he screwed it up big time. So I don't disagree with you that once he gets hung in the court of public opinion, he probably may never coach again and they may never keep him. But, right now it is what it is. Everybody knows or thinks they know that he did something nefarious, and we'll find out when that comes out.
Well, Rick Barnes had that tweet that went out.
Matt Barnes.
Matt Barnes had the tweet that went out on Friday afternoon, and that was pretty telling because he claims that he knows all the details. He says this shit is deep. This is nasty. It's really bad.
Well, interestingly, for people that don't know who Matt Barnes is a relief pitcher for the Red Sox. He's been here for a long time.
Okay, funny guy.
Different Matt Barnes. Different Matt Barnes.
The NBA player that now is the
NBA
NBA analyst.
It was the NBA man.
Yeah. Remember, now he was involved, wasn't it with it was with the ex-coach for the Lakers.
My bad.
Yeah.
My bad. I actually just heard
another
that
story.
NBA having a scandal?
Yeah,
what are the
love
odds?
a scandal.
What are the odds?
All right. Hey, two things, Butch. One, where were you when the OJ verdict was read? Do you remember Cato during the trial?
I was working at WDFN in Detroit, Detroit's Fan. It was the first year of their all sports radio station. Detroit, such a great sports city, had never had an all sports station. And I was on the air in the morning when OJ was driving the white Bronco.
Yeah.
So
classic.
We actually like everybody else, radio wise, we're giving updates to everybody on the air.
Yeah. The detective talking to him during that whole ride on the freeway was Tom Lang, who we had on our show. Go back and listen to that one, Butch. It's phenomenal. It's a great episode.
I've been on that Detroit the Fan. I've been on all those shows. I can't believe I've not met Butch before, but I'm glad I did today.
Butch, follow Cato on Twitter, especially when the Milwaukee Brewers are playing. He is merciless.
Yeah,
merciless.
No, Butch. I'm a sports fanatic, and
you got our guy Hunter Renfro, good dude.
Yeah. Hunter's doing okay, but the Brewers,
he's just been okay. I
started the Craig Counsell must be fired campaign. I'm doing everything I can. My late father actually coached Bob Uecker in basketball. That's my Milwaukee tie.
Cato, I'm old enough to remember Sixto Lascano and Gorman Thomas and the Brew Crew. Oh my goodness, they were unbelievable.
Harvey's Wallbangers, my friend. Harvey Wallbangers,
the
manager with one leg. You gotta love that one.
For real?
Yeah. He had Harvey had one leg.
Damn, poor guy.
Yeah, worked at the IHOP. No, but seriously, he is an amazing. He's an amazing coach. Great times in Milwaukee. 1982 World Series.
Why are you having dinner near the station? You're not working tonight, are you?
No, I'm off tonight. They tried to get me to come in because of the Celtics presser, and we're being sold. Whatever. Long story short, I'm the only sports person left, and I'm like, no, I'm not working Friday night because Sunday the Patriots opener is on our air, and I have to be at Gillette at 7 a.m. and I have to work until midnight. So I go, no, I'm not working Friday night. You guys handle this story.
Good for you. Way to flex. Hey, Butch, you're the best, man. We love you. Thank you. Butch. You're always available. You have great perspective.
Hey, let's do it, Tom and Cato. Cato, great to meet you, man.
Great to meet
Let's
you.
do this again.
Hey,
let's do this again. I got to get back in. Actually, I'll take you in the bar.
Next time,
I'm not going to be able to.
Can we do it in the bar? Can you walk into the bar and we just say hi to everybody?
I'll walk into the bar.
I want to say hi to everybody.
Butch, tell everybody Cato Kalin's on the line. Just tell them it's Cato Kalin.
This is it. See, I want to introduce you to the owner.
Okay. This is great. Can I get a free cocktail? Dave, are you 21?
This is the owner, Mike Gargan. Say hello to
Mike, Cato Kalin. I'm a big fan.
Straight from Dublin. Right there, right?
Guinness, right here.
Look, come on down. Yeah, come on down.
Looks awesome. We're coming.
We will be there. We're there. We're there for the fish fry.
Here's my Guinness right there.
Nice. Go back and enjoy it.
Enjoy.
Linda.
Cheers.
Linda.
My brother-in-law, John.
Johnny, Cato K.
And Sonny.
Sonny, wake up. It's our show.
We don't talk about Sonny a lot because she's very beautiful. She's very eccentric. She's like, I know. Can you hear me?
Yes. Do me a favor. Do not introduce her to the coach.
I'm going to sign off.
Do not introduce her to the coach of the Celtics.
See you, pal.
See you, Butch. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
See you, buddy.
That was cool. All right, so that's...
Hey, our first is... He looks like he's wearing a hat with blades on it. I love it. This is great. I'll tell you what.
Okay.
First time.
I hope I didn't screw anything up there. Everything okay? I ended the meeting.
Tom, you worked with Butch then. You were sportscasters together.
Yes. So Butch and I did work together. It was a lot of fun. And we used to do this thing at the end of every sportscast during the week called The Last Blast, where we would have a minute to a minute and a half just flat out commentary where we could just roast whoever we wanted. And I back then, I used to rip the Boston teams a lot because they weren't good. This was right before Brady became the starting quarterback. I was there when Drew Bledsoe got wiped out on the sideline, right? And then Brady came in. So the Red Sox were horrible. I mean, they were just a disaster. The Celtics, that was when Rick Pitino was coaching them. And that was right when Bill Belichick had just taken over. So I was there. Butch and I worked together. Butch local. They love him in Boston. They didn't love me. And that's fine. I get it, man.
I saw the reception at the bar. They love the guy. They love the guy.
Yeah. So, okay, so that is an insane scandal. You know what? I think he's never coaching there again. I think once we get all the details, it's going to be nasty. He might never coach in the NBA again, judging by that tweet we saw from Matt Barnes.
Do you remember that Sports Illustrated had the cover many years ago about how many NBA players impregnated women across, and it was like this record of, not going to get sued, but I think it was Sean Kemp had the record of how many kids.
Well, that's true. Sean Kemp was known for that. Didn't he have like 7 kids, 7 or 8? The other one is Dwight Howard. He's had a ton of kids with different mothers. A ton.
And I've been to many games, and I see women actually waiting after the game at the locker room. So you know something's going on. There's something set up at every city. It's like a rock star.
Well, it's usually at the hotel. That's where it all goes down. You know, the ones that have the access, and, you know, it's not like they just show up. You know, whatever. That's another story. We'll talk about NBA groupies, but that is the real deal. Okay, the other big scandal that, you know, I got to get your opinion on is this thing that's happening with Brett Favre, right? So here, I'll just break this down for everybody. So this is involving the state of Mississippi and some federal funds that were sent to Mississippi and then were supposed to be used for needy children in the state of Mississippi. Brett Favre's involved because he was doing some speaking engagements that was part of this, right? And then he talked them into directing some of these funds, $5 million worth, to build a new volleyball arena for Southern Miss.
I think it was with his daughter's team or something.
Yeah, her college team, and the thing got done. But Cato, the thing that's burning him right now is the fact that there's text messages, there's a trail of this. I mean, are you shocked by this, that you're finding a legend, an NFL legend, and a Wisconsin god, Brett Favre, in this type of trouble?
Yeah, 100%. Completely this, because I always thought Brett was that kind of stand-up guy, and he had just said, I know some of the messages were like, are you sure we're clear on this? Can we get caught with anything? That he didn't do the speeches that he was supposed to, but still got paid for doing speeches that he had not done. And I remember when Favre, who I was invited to a golf tournament back in the day, I think in Tupelo, Mississippi, near his home in Kiln. It was a casino golf tournament. I couldn't make it, but I remember I introduced him to Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen and him start talking, becoming friends over the phone. I think he went to a few Packer games. I went to tons of games, but I only talked to Brett on the phone a few times, and we were trying to connect the entire time. And then when he left Packers, I just remember all the signs. When he went to the Vikings, your hometown, the memories, they go, "We'll never forget you, Brent."
Yeah. That's a move that Packer fans will never forget. He went to the Jets first.
Yeah, Jets,
and then the Vikings. But you don't go to your division rival. Generally, worked out for him.
And take him to the Super Bowl and then get...
Boy, did he get the crap beat out of him in that NFC Championship game. When
Which
they had
was another
bounty.
Scandal.
Another one, for sure, the bounty. You know, Brett Favre, small college in Mississippi. You can just see a trend here where he thinks he can get away with anything. And you get it. I've been around athletes a long time.
Right.
And you can understand it when you have everything handed to you, where you can get anything that you ask for. When problems can disappear with a phone call, you just lump this in with all the others. And I think some of these guys also get the mentality that they deserve this. Like, he is a god in Mississippi. There's no question about it.
That you said the exact right thing. It's like you're untouchable when you become... that you believe that you're untouchable. And I just wonder how it all broke and who was doing the paper trail of this, because it had to be going on for years, and it just followed the paper trail, and it goes to Favre. I don't know what's going to happen with him, because he's better sell a lot more copper bracelets or copper knee pads.
Cato, what happened is they got somebody else involved in this to flip and to testify. So now you could just tell the governor's probably going to be in major trouble on this one. The woman that he was communicating regarding those funds for the arena, and then whether the media could track this down, you know, she's in their crosshairs. But when you get the Justice Department involved, I mean, they're talking like dozens and dozens and dozens of lawyers that do nothing but this. And they have anything at their disposal as far as technology and being able to get any document or anything. And if you text that,
right.
I mean, that's not good.
But can you really trust the DOJ? Can you really trust them?
Wow. Hey, let me ask you a question. Yeah. As a Packer fan, Favre and Aaron Rodgers went to 2 Super Bowls. They each won one. Mm-hmm. They're both Hall of Famers. They're both legendary. Both of them left a Packer fan with a taste in their mouth that we wanted more. We wanted more Super Bowls. Does one stand higher than the other? in Green Bay or in Wisconsin or with Packer fans?
Well, I think this has a lot to do with it now. I think it's going to drop. But I think the hardcore older fans love Favre more than Aaron Rodgers. But I think the up-and-coming fans, the younger the fan, they love Aaron Rodgers. I have switched to Rodgers. I loved Favre. But even when Favre was playing, I would swear and break remotes constantly because he threw that interception. He threw the interceptions at the wrong time. He could blow playoff games like he did against the Giants, and I'd be pissed off. And then I saw Aaron Rodgers play. I saw him play at a scrimmage. And I don't know if you watched the Bill Maher. He's got a podcast called Club Random. And on Club Random, 2004, 2005, I was at the Playboy Mansion.
No, time out here. Time out. This
true.
deserves way more
It's
build-up than
honest
what you're doing.
honest
You can't
podcast.
just slide this in. This was huge.
Well,
go to our
slide
social
this
media.
in. That's one of the lines we use at the
at the Playboy Mansion, right? Out by the chimps, right? By the grotto. Yes.
chimps.
So, hey, listen, everybody, if you're a fan of Club Random, you heard them. It was Aaron Rodgers was on. It was probably right before training camp started. They taped it, but man, he was Dr. Chill in the lounge chair with Rand, and they kept talking about Cato.
No,
it was the K train.
It was actually the week before the season started. It was training camp was over, and it was a September 1st taping on a Saturday before he had to leave town. He left actually. Rodgers left that day after the taping.
You had to be. They're talking about you, Cato.
Yeah,
and can you believe that Bill Maher,
Totally
with all the pot that he smoked in the last 15 years, remembers that conversation like verbatim with you?
He mentions on his show. I listen to his religiously watch it, and like people should watch our show on YouTube, 1 Degree Scandalous. But I watch it, and I was shocked when I heard it. All of a sudden, my name came up. I wanted to see it because of Aaron Rodgers. I'm a fan. So I told these people, all the guys, and Bill goes, we should have been talking to girls. But I said, we got this guy up and coming guy named Aaron Rodgers. I saw him at an exhibition game, and I saw him at a practice, because you can watch the practices back then. I was a huge fan. I go, I've never seen a tighter spiral. I've never seen this guy over the shoulders, hitting everybody. I said, he's better than Favre. And then he got his chance against Dallas, and he get through. We were down by 24 points. He brought us back down by 3. And it's an incredible story. He became the go-to guy. And Rodgers goes, thanks for the shout-out back in 2004, Kate, of the Playboy Mansion. So I've gone to a few exhibition games where I'm on my feet. I'm always I get the front row. I've not met him. We haven't met. He goes, Cato follows me on Twitter. I love that. So then I saw that he followed me. He saw 2 of my Instagram posts, which were kind of funny. So I'm going, geez, got to get Rodgers on Team Cato right now.
Big week for you. John Cena started following you last week as well.
Oh my God, John
nice,
Cena.
man. That's nice
oh
too.
God, 13.1 million followers. I'm the K train. If you're not following me now, you got to get on the train. Hop on the K train.
And then Maher ended the show with Rodgers, where they said if the Packers go to the Super Bowl, Maher's going and he's taking you, and it's in Phoenix.
Not only
I will fucking put the Jets under the bus for you.
There we go.
Right. Me and Cato
All
are
right.
going to be there.
Let's
you know
go,
what?
Cato.
If you get into the Super Bowl,
You and Cato
I
in
will
the
come
box.
with Cato. I used to be very close to Cato.
Really?
I still love him. He's the most lovable guy in the world.
Yeah.
You know, he got into a bad situation being in O.J. Simpson's guest house. Yeah, let's wrap it up with another football reference. O.J. Simpson.
All the guest houses to be in.
Of all the, right.
Yeah.
And, you know, he got just caught in a thing. He's
Yeah.
the sweetest
He's
guy.
a nice guy.
And
Yeah.
he just loves Wisconsin and the
He does.
Packers. And if you get into the Super Bowl this year, I'm like the little kid with Babe Ruth. Hit me a homer, babe.
It's not far. It's in Arizona.
I got
It's a
cancer.
short
Hit
flight
me a
for-
homer.
For a big timer like you, just a short little
Okay, where?
flight.
Where is the-
Arizona.
Oh, that's where the Super Bowl is?
Yeah.
Not only that, Rodgers says Cato come out to Christmas Day. I got an invite through a mutual friend of ours, Patrick Marino, who has a suite. Packers play the Dolphins
in Miami.
and I believe that's close to
That-
Orlando. I want to get David excited. So David back there. So I might actually do that Christmas in Miami, watch a Packer game. But Super Bowl, we're invited. Bill Maher, private jet. He said it on tape. He's going to take me to the Super Bowl if the Packers get there, which will be a ball.
You know what? I've become a Packer fan because that is going to be a spectacle. You and Bill Maher wearing a cheese head that you're going to give to him, just you out and amongst Packer fans.
He's gonna try to smoke the cheese head.
Can you imagine how much publicity we'll get for this show?
Can you vape a cheese head?
Okay, you know what? You just turned me into a Packer fan for what it could do for this show.
Yeah, no, the Pack.
Go, Pack, go.
Go Pack. There's nothing. You're a Viking. I don't know if you're a Viking. I think you're a Viking fan, but I'm telling you right now. I've traveled everywhere in the world. I sport events in many arenas and stadiums. there is nothing. I mean it. People live for it because there's not a lot in Green Bay or in Milwaukee with the Bucks and the Brewers. They live for their sports teams, and I mean they're loyal. You don't find players that are loyal, but I think when players play more in a Wisconsin sport, they become loyal because you see the loyalty of a fan. And I think it's one of the last places that you're going to find where it's not. I mean, people obviously want to get paid, but they stay. They stay because of the base, and that I'll tell you. One person is Anastapoulo for the Bucks. Giannis. He was offered.
You almost got that. Just go with Giannis. Go with the Greek freak.
The Greek freak, the poo-poo. I always put. If he has a bad game, I call him Anastapoulo.
Next week we're gonna have Cato spell his name.
Yeah, that'll be fun. That I know his vowels are like whatever, but. He was offered a lot more money. He said he's going to stay with Milwaukee and his career in Milwaukee because he loves the fan. We'll see if it's true, but I think so. But the Bucks also got his brother to play. Mm-hmm. All right, enough of sports with me. I'm a fanatic.
Yeah, okay. I do want the Packers to go to the Super Bowl just for what it could do for this show.
Yeah.
My God, that would be insane. And I used to live in Phoenix, so we'd have a great time. By the way, the first time I ever went to a Packer game at Lambeau Field, it was a Monday night game. The Bears were playing the Packers, and I thought I was on another planet. I mean, just the characters that were rolling into that stadium that night with their bib overalls and their coveralls. And
was it a Halloween game?
It might have been. It was like 96, probably 95 or 96, but that was quite the spectacle. But yeah, sports has provided a lot of scandal for us this week. It's crazy. Yeah. But you know what? I just wanted to get into this new studio today, kind of feel it out, figure it out. I didn't screw up anything too bad, I don't think, on that Zoom that I was trying to do technically.
Well, hopefully we got it because it was amazing.
Yeah, Butch is awesome.
Butch Stearns. I mean, like you said, that is a name. Tom Zenner and Butch Stearns. Who would not tune into that show? Well, besides Cato Kalin and Tom Zenner.
Right. Okay, so what else is going on in your life? Everything else good? Anything exciting?
Yeah, actually, I had a meeting. We'll find what's going on. I have an incredible show idea with a buddy of mine, and we did a pitch, and I can't say it yet, but really, it's I don't know if you know this, but I used to host a show as a court show. Court, well, where's the connection? But I was in a court show. It's better to be sworn in than sworn at, trust me.
Okay.
So, but
tell everybody the name of it.
Oh, the show that I did was called Eye for an Eye.
It was great.
And the guy who married me, his name's Akeem Anastapoulo. Oh, look, I got that one right. It's no relation to Giannis, the Greek freak. Although the Akeem is a Greek freak. He's the coolest guy in the world. So Akeem, we worked together about 160 episodes shot. He was the He had the court with a baseball bat, not a gavel. He had the baseball bat of justice where people had revenge. And on what a genius idea.
The premise was basically somebody can essentially sue each other or take this case against them, but no money involved, but it was like a punishment involved, right? There was some sort of repercussion.
Right. Some of the punishments involved would be, I'll give you, one of my favorites was a gentleman who kept parking handicapped and paid his tickets, but he wasn't handicapped. So he agreed and lost the case to get an epidural. And we numbed his legs, and he had to do 5 things a person who couldn't use their legs try to do. And that was take a shower, get into a car, and it was, to first of all agree to do that. It's pretty amazing, and it proved a point. It's don't park handicap, pal.
No kidding.
Remember those fake placards they used to have at the UCLA? That was another sports thing.
Hey, but that's a perfect punishment for somebody that does that.
Yeah.
So was that Akeem's idea, or do they come up with your own punishment?
We had writing staff, but Akeem gives out the punishments, and I would be there for that when they did the punishment. But we had so many. We had so it's what we're pitching now is something sort of like that. But I think the timing is perfect because there's so much going on, and it has a lot to do with kids and there's just so many arguments kids have with their parents now. And
so you mediate those in some sort of clever way. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, go YouTube the show because it's hilarious. I love the one episode. I think it was this woman suing this mechanic or taking a mechanic, onto the show. And he had to pull a rickshaw for 5 hours on a busy street with hills.
That was the show. The rickshaw was down in it was at that time in Dallas. It was called the Dallas Alley or something. What was just beautiful, and now it's sort of a pit. They're trying to make it, but it was so upscale and so great. I lived in Dallas during the episodes in a really swanky hotel for 6 months. One of the best times of my entire life. And Akeem was first class of taking care of people. And by the way, I was mentioning Akeem. To judge the show was the guy that actually married me. And as you know, you were there. We got married at David Zucker's house. And David, by the way, just got a great book. Well, I better not say. But David, I'll let him toot his own horn. So David Zucker from Airplane, Naked Guns, we got married at his house. And now the whole connection is I love bringing people in. If you know, Tom, I love bringing people in to be a family. And I love great people. And I think anybody I hang around, I'm not the smartest guy. I hang around smarter people, but that makes you smarter, and you hang around people that can get you forward. And it's like yourself, now Butch Stearns, anybody. But honestly, it's paying it forward.
Yep.
And
that's what just rubs off. That's what's so contagious about you. That's why everybody loves you. That's why I invited you to this poker tournament next Saturday. You're going to come in. We're going to have a lot of fun. Okay, on that thing. But yeah, Cato, I'm with you, and this is our new family right here. Action Park Media. This is where we're going to be. Thank you, Dave. Thank you for all the help here today.
Oh my God! Look who just walked in. Kevin, will you be on camera? You won't? Will you save it? Kevin, I can't believe it. Kevin, we're going to tease it now. We're going to tease it, but you got to promise the show. Is that Kevin Dillon? Jesus, everybody's here. I can't believe it. Oh, my God, Doug Allen. Oh, you guys are missing it. This is big. Promise next week? Yeah. All right.
You heard it here. Cato lined him up for next week. All right, download and subscribe if you haven't. Share the show. Check us out on YouTube, wherever you get your audio podcasts. Tell other people about it. Follow us on social media. We're going to show you a lot of these clips. Go check out some of our past episodes because we've had some great ones.
I was going to say, I think our show is probably one of those shows that we already do a best of. But great shows. Watch us on YouTube.
Yep. Okay. And we'll be back here for our next episode next week. Cato, you have a great weekend. Have a great week.
I'm sure I'll talk to you.
This was a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody. Make sure you check us out and download and subscribe, and check us out every single week. 1 Degree of Scandalous.
1 Degree of Scandalous
with Cato Kalin and Tom Zenner. Thank you.